to the TForce LCS Rundown. This is your host, Matt Ganorum, joined this week by Mitch Serial Bow.
How's it going, guys? A big, first of all, apologies to the people over at AGDQ. Doing a great job. Love them, but I know we're going to be stealing a lot of their viewership for the next, I don't know, hour or so. They're only at 91,000, so they're really hurting. I don't know if anyone's been watching that. It's just speed runs all week long. Check it out. If you guys haven't heard of it, you should at least take a look.
Yeah, I mean, we get at least 3 million viewers each week, so they're paltry 91,000.
Between 3 and 10, at least.
Yeah, sorry, guys. You know, but we do what we can. Speaking of doing what we can, we've got some friends missing from the show this week. We've got our good friends Greg. He's out moving to San Francisco, so he can't join us tonight. But that's very exciting, as he did just get a job out there at a video game company, which is fucking badass. And Mitch, where are our good friends Optimus Town
and Cepha? I believe they're casting the last week of the... Oh my gosh, I cannot believe... The Omen Encounter. The 4-team tournament that's being drafted by, I believe it's Trick, maybe Cutie Pie, Boy. I'm going to get some of those wrong, so apologies ahead of time, guys. But it's just a fun little tournament that's going to kind of bridge the gap between the end of the expansion tournament and the start of the LCS. So for all of you NA EU fans, go check it out. It's omen.gg, I believe, is the URL to see the live stream. So go check them out. They're casting it. It's just kind of a fun tournament with a little bit of money on the line for maybe the players, probably just kind of like the Hotshot and Saint Aram was, just a little money between friends/ex-friends.
Yeah, well, that is just exactly what it is. It's going to be a nice bridge tournament, so definitely go and support them. Check that out. Check out the tournament. There's going to be lots of LCS action happening in between the seasons, and that's really what we're here to cover today. We're here to cover last season. We're remembering 2014 with our short show this week. We're going to have a lot of new things in 2015. First off, what is awesome now is that I got a little bit of technology for Christmas that actually allows us to do some crazy mixing stuff live. So rather than play the crappy Poppy Watch from 2014 through my phone, through my microphone, I can now pipe it directly into you. 2014. And that just sounds terrible, but it also lets us go with Poppy Watch 2015.
Let me demonstrate hammer diplomacy. Valorant will know harmony.
Poppy Watch 2015.
Their defeat is non-negotiable.
I pretty much just can't wait to harass Optimus Tom with that all season long.
Well, you do realize that he can't like, I don't know, have a rebuttal there because it's so long and so loud, especially if you're streaming it. Like, what is he going to do? Is he going to start trying to talk? Screaming. And he's like, well, fuck, I can't do anything about that.
Well, I don't know. I'm going to get some like nice Poppy sound effects and little things like that and string them all together. We'll fuck with them a little bit. We'll have some fun. But we also get a lot of other cool things that we're going to be doing with this. And this episode is actually kind of our test run of that, our beta run, if you will. We're going to be, later on in the episode, playing some of your favorite moments from 2014. We gathered this on our subreddit, which is reddit.com/r/TForce network, I believe. Mm-hmm. You can check us out there. There's always tons of discussion. You can ask questions. I know most of us hosts watch that thing like a hawk. So typically when anybody posts anything for any reason, we're kind of there to answer questions.
I don't do anything else. I don't do anything else but hit F5 on that all day. Like that's all I've done today is hit F5, seeing if you guys put up some more comments. And we really do appreciate you guys having feedback there because we got at least one thing about like technical issues. So that's a great place to kind of get to us really quickly. It's not like you can also do that on Twitter. You can do that on sending emails. I think there's a few email lists. Maybe a phone number you might be able to call us now.
there's a phone now. There is a phone now. You can actually call into the show. You could do this before, but that went to a voicemail box. I don't even know if we even listened to that. I didn't even have access to it. So I just went ahead and made a new one. And that number is 978-378-0257. Now, that'll call a voicemail. It's going to go straight to voicemail. There's a little bit of Big Bang humor involved in that as well, if you're a fan. And, Midge, I didn't even tell you this in the pre-show. We actually already got our first caller.
Really? Did we now?
I put out some secret notes, and let's take a listen.
Hey, this is listener Tom. Listen, guys, I really love your show, particularly Mocking Norm. Pretty much everybody else is terrible. Just going to go ahead and say that, but it is seriously just the one saving grace. Long-time listener, first-time caller, going for Lock Mid. Thanks, bye.
So as the seasons develop, you can actually go ahead, call into the show, leave the voicemail. If we love it, if we think it's a great conversation point, we'll play your call live, and we'll respond to it. So lots of cool things. You really already fucked up there. You already fucked up, because if you're saying, hey, if you've got a good discussion point, and that was your example, was you calling in and just listen, that wasn't me, that was Tom. All right,
somebody named Tom. Yeah.
I mean, thanks out there for the support. We really love Instalock Mid. But yeah, just go ahead and call in whenever you want. I need to get some like sad trombone sound effects and some other silly stuff like that.
It's going to turn into a bad morning show, isn't it?
This is going to turn into Adam sending me super aggressive emails every day in Google Hangout chat things saying like, stop the sound effects. It's not funny. No one likes it. We'll just abuse the hell out of it.
Yeah, it's going to happen.
But speaking of abusing the hell out of anything, we're going to go ahead and abuse Team Curse a little bit because, well, actually, no, we're not. We're just going to go right into the league news. That's the segue. I need to make a segue bumper. Man, I got to start writing.
That would be better than whatever you come up with every week.
Yeah, let's go right into league news before we hit the favorite moments. So we got a couple of pieces of news. We'll start off with Curse. Curse is now Team Liquid. I think we actually discussed this on a previous show, but as you know, the dual branding nature of the LCS does make some complications for teams who have challenger teams, because as you know, in Curse's situation, a challenger team comes in. You can't have a dual branded. You can't have a team with the same brand name on it. So Team Curse was kind of looking to address this in two ways. For one, they were trying to sell off Curse Academy, and for two, they had some problems, I guess, with the fact that they had an LCS team, and they were also trying to develop software for League, Curse Voice. So Curse made a decision to actually drop their primary sponsorship from the team itself, and they passed that on to Team Liquid. I don't know exactly how that went down, but you know, they passed that over, and Team Curse, as we know it today, is now Team Liquid. Curse Academy, we still don't really know what's going on there.
Yeah, that's going to be... I wonder if somebody's going to pick them up. I mean, obviously, that was... We've talked a little bit to death about how Liquid may have to sell... He's probably going to sell Curse Academy. I can't imagine anything else. He's not just going to just drop them and say, oh, somebody go pick them up. He's going to sell them probably from... Yeah. I would guess from some more well-known esports company, but there have been kind of teams coming out of nowhere, or teams that a lot of people haven't heard of. So I guess it wouldn't surprise me if it was somebody new to the esports scene trying to break in with an LCS team.
Yeah, and I think with the popularity that it's been getting, I mean, LMQ did something on ESPN. You know, Cloud9 obviously did their stuff with Playboy earlier. I mean, it's creeping more and more into the mainstream, and I think more and more companies are going to kind of wake up and say, you know, hey, we need this and we need it fast. How we're going to put this together, and having an already assembled team with a legacy at this point, we can even consider that now because, you know, they've got their challenger success and they've got a big name like St. Ducius on there, and now they're in the LCS. I mean, what's not? It's kind of like an instant LCS esports team assembly system. Like, boom, you have your team there where they need to be. it's exactly what you need to be successful. So
Do we already debate who's gonna come out fourth between the two of them? Like, or is it when they change the brand name they're gonna actually be able to break that fourth place curse?
we'll leave that for the NA preview show. That'll be coming up.
I mean, maybe once we hear what their new name is, then I might be convinced that they'll break fourth place. But
they should be Team Force.
That'd be kind of it'd be great if they that would be hilarious if they wanted to do that as a like a placeholder name, and then it'd be also amazing if they ended up tying for fourth with that 2-2 split each, and they have to make a playoff and no one wins. They just it's like a 300-minute game because no one wants to give it up. No one wants to go to fifth. Yeah, and then would probably play each other in the playoffs anyways. So
right,
whatever.
Well, speaking of rebranding, we did get some more information.
Oh my god!
That was
actually that's better. That was better.
That's
sorry,
a really good one.
I have a Pavlovian response now to speaking of. Just I only just see red and can't read anything anymore, so I don't know what's coming next.
LMQ has rebranded themselves to Team Impulse. They also picked up a new coach this week, Ducky, formerly of Copenhagen Wolves, and they also added Wiz Fusion as their ADC.
Yeah, so that brings them up to 4 members that have been released to the public. You got Rush. 3 of them being Chinese. Rush is going to be their jungler. Of course, Chow Wei Chow, which I think I'm saying right for probably my first time ever.
And they also
and then Adrian is going to be their support. I don't know a lot about him. I don't have an article to quite pull up. And it's ironically the Rush article in Leaguepedia links straight to a Korean player, which is not him at all. So that's helpful. Thanks, Leaguepedia. But they're still missing their top laner. Yep. I don't really know who they're going to pick up, but if they haven't... Actually, question, are we doing the NA or the EU next week?
We're doing, and I forgot to mention this in the show introduction, next week we will be doing the EU preview show. We're going to be talking about the European scene, what we can expect in 2015, what we know, what we need to know, and what we're going to look forward to in the coming weeks. All this is in preparation for the January 22nd start date for the LCS. And then the following week, which is the week before the official start, we'll be having the North American preview show.
Okay, so it's likely that we will end up knowing that top laner. Probably have rosters locked down by the time the NA show comes in, maybe even by the time the EU show comes in. But
it's getting to that point.
Time. Everything
time.
Needs to be figured out pretty soon.
Yeah, I don't know what the actual Riot, official you need to have your stuff together by now, what that is, but I don't know, we'll see.
I'm gonna look that up as you keep going.
Okay. We had some additional news this week. Cloud9 is actually working on creating a challenger team. They've had ones in the past, but they haven't been successful. They had Walking Zed, but they lost to EG in the summer promos. So it looks like they're starting fresh here. This news article is from Daily Dot. Their coach is going to be assisting with the creation of the team. They're really going to be pushing for an LCS spot. And they have quite a large roster currently. They have 2 working challenger teams actually playing on live servers. And they're trying to get this together, trying to make this a thing. More than likely, probably going to be for the summer promotional stuff, as opposed to the spring, because we're kind of there already, unless they come up with something crazy. But, I mean, after seeing what Cloud9 has for a pedigree and knowing that the staff of Cloud9 is going to be helping make this team successful, I mean, this could be dangerous.
I mean, it could be. They could end up having a really strong team come in, but yeah, I don't want them to split too much of their resources between the 2 teams. And it doesn't seem to have hurt them. Obviously, Cloud9, it's not like they've had I don't want to even say a down period ever in the history of them being in the LCS, but I really don't want to see that.
Their down period was like, oh my god, Cloud9 lost a game. Like, what's going on?
Or Cloud9's not in the LCS yet. That was probably the only period where you could say, oh, something might be going wrong with them. So I can't imagine that's going to hurt them too much. They seem to be pretty... I don't know inner workings, of course, but if they were more self-sufficient than most teams, especially with having the same 5 players for their entirety of their professional career, I wouldn't be shocked. So...
Yeah. So we'll go over more news as the weeks go on here leading up. We're going to start channeling that stuff into the EU and the NA over the next couple of weeks. So we'll revisit some of these topics and see how it's all going to play. I'm really excited to kind of take a look at the landscape there and really set the stage for the 2015 season because we are right there. We're so close. I'm going to love getting back to that consistency of just games after games after games. So lots of exciting things in 2015, but before we can dust off too far into 2015, we got to look back. We got to go back to 2014 and just remember the moments, savor them. So a little bit on the format here. We're gonna talk about some of our favorite moments. We've gathered some from you guys on Reddit, on Twitter, and on email. Again, thanks for sending those in. They've been great. We've got some audio clips to play for you, which are going to be a ton of fun. And then we'll talk about, some of the teams and how we felt about them, some of the players and how we felt about them. So let's see. Where do you want to start? Why don't you pick one there, Mitch?
Wait, can we go farther back? I don't want to go to my favorite one quite yet, which is a very recent. It's the number one on the on 2014, or I guess number one. There's no ranking system here, obviously. Let's go from the bottom.
Right.
Let's go 7-1. That's pretty easy. And also this also came from Badger, who is our Battle Arena director.
Yeah.
If you want to be
this one came up a couple of times in a couple.
Yeah.
Of
I bet it did. It came from Twitter as well as the Reddit threads. So go ahead.
So let me set up this clip.
Play the whole clip. No. It's the whole thing. You have to play the whole thing.
The whole thing.
This is going to be a really long podcast, guys.
The scene we're talking about, let's say our least favorite moment of our favorite moment, was the Curse versus Complexity 80-minute game. Now, to set up this clip, the clip that I have for you is about a minute and so long. It's the final moments of the game, so it's obviously the most exciting. But this game was terrible. Not only was it Curse and Complexity both making just the absolute worst moves ever, and just it was like a normal. It was like a normal level 5 watching it. Not that bad, but what was the worst thing about this game wasn't necessarily their performance. It was how pissed the casters and the crowds were getting. Like, there were points where you could just hear in the background the crowd was just talking. Like that really loud, just kind of white noise chatter going on in the background.
And you're talking about two teams that aren't. It's not like it's a contention for this will decide first place. It's between two teams who one is obviously stuck into one position forever, and then one got relegated. So
yeah, and it's just watching this game was painful because you didn't want to not watch it to see if you missed something. But we'll go right to the clip.
Down. Doesn't need the Lich Bane just yet. Oh, 10 more seconds. We can do it. Watch it just hit 80 and everybody turns Super Saiyan and go crazy. It's a new feature nobody's seen before.
What exactly happens in Summoner's when Summoner's Rift hits 80 seconds?
80 seconds.
A giant meteor hits the ground. Oh, there they go for it, Robert!
Oh my God, Robert going to go down immediately. He does get the Zanyas on. Probably also needs to use his Zanyas. Everybody's trying to go for the fast fingers, and if it's slow, you're going to be on the end of death. They could look to finish it. Do they see Robert? They got a Nexus turret to end the game. This is going to be a through the front door base race. They are trying to get this down. Robert going for the shots. He's got a black shield to stay alive. He still has no summoners, actually. Few more. Holy shit, they win the game by going in through the front door. Over 80 minutes. Complexity takes down Curse.
That's the moment right there when, in all of his professionalism, you just hear Rivington fucking scream at the end. Holy shit, it's over. Oh, man. How bad is that? I mean, if you ever want to really just not enjoy life, just go back. Just go back and listen to that game. The whole game. Watch it. All 80 minutes. It's mind-numbing.
All right, I think I'm back. Maybe.
Oh, boy. So let's go a little bit forward. Let's go to the next one on our list. One thing I don't feel like we covered well enough go throughout the regular 2014 season, which I wish Optimus Tom was here, because we're actually going to be hitting up on our 1-year anniversary soon of the show.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Nice.
February 15th was actually our first episode. Back when it was me, Optimus
Oh, just after
Tom,
Valentine's.
Yeah, and Wrecker.
Okay.
Yeah, it was good times back then. Terrible audio quality, a bunch of technical issues. Nothing has changed in a year, pretty much.
Yeah, my headset cuts out.
But so we didn't really get a good grasp on the challenger scene, and that kind of caught up to us when it came time for the expansion tournament. And if you ever needed a reason to listen to the challenger scene, I got a clip for you here. This is from, I forget what week it is, but it's from the European challenger scene. And it's Kobe giving some advice on how to properly be a gangster. Let's listen.
By the way, you wink and you kind of make a gun pointing to the camera.
Okay.
That's how it is.
Is it the gangster lean gun sideways?
Yeah, it's got to be sideways.
All right, so here's a do you know for any wannabe gangsters out there. Never actually hold your gun like this when you're going to shoot it, because when it discharges, it's going to hit you in the face, and it's a very, very hot tap that's going to hit you in the face. That's why actual people hold the gun straight up so that it goes out the side and doesn't hit you in the face. You can blind yourself if you go like this.
It looks cool if I do the other way and the casing falls out the
Are
bottom.
you going to hit your leg or something there?
Well, I'll do it left-handed.
Better protect yourself.
So imagine that you're just casting all day, and the challengers games were always played after the fact. I feel like all the crowd leaves. The producers are kind of like, all right, we got through the LCS this week. Good work, guys. All right, whoever wants to do challenger, just go do challenger.
Yeah.
And you get stuff like that, which was hilarious.
Well, it's pretty much golden. That's amazing clip that you're not going to get any, like we just listened to two of the most non-professional things that have been said. You got the holy shit coming out from Riv, and then gangsta advice. And I love all of that. Obviously, this is not exactly the most, I don't know, family friendly podcast.
No, we're not
/
a family
podcast
show.
network. But yeah, I love when you just get really candid, really fun things. I'm not saying candid as though Kobe's trying to say, oh crap, I just talked about my gangsta origins. I shouldn't be letting everyone know. But pretty amusing nonetheless.
Speaking of super unprofessional, what was it, the Garna League? Do you remember that news?
Oh, that just happened? Yeah, oh, you
Yes.
mean with the viruses that came in the patch files, I believe?
No,
Is that what it was?
it was during the... Okay, yeah, here it is. I wish I had pulled this clip. I'm a friggin' idiot for not doing this.
Can you
But-
link me real quick so I know what's going on?
Yeah, so it's... I'm going to actually put it in the Skype chat. Or not Skype
That's
chat
fine.
there. I'm going to put it in the Twitch chat. So what it is it was during, I think it was like the preseason for Garna, and they had like 4 pauses super fast, and everything was going wrong. The crowd was getting pissed. The color commentators get up, 2 of them, and they're on the stage, and they're trying to calm everybody down. And basically the guy goes, hey, listen, if you guys don't calm down, you're shitty people, you have a shitty attitude, get over it. And it was just the most cringe-worthy thing. Like,
Oh my
why
goodness.
would you
Yeah,
get in front of
I just
all of
watched a
those
few
people?
seconds.
Why would you get in front of all those people and call them shitty people? Oh, it is just terrible. I don't know what's going on over there that something like that can happen, but that guy's got to lose his job.
He probably already did. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
That's-
we'll do a follow up on that one.
We'll invite him for an interview. That's coming up next week on the LCS Rundown. We're going to interview the people who've been fired and want to talk trash about their former employees.
That's not our show, actually.
We're doing Serial, the podcast that talks about how Serial with Serial Box. We're going to investigate all these legal implications.
Yeah, we'll investigate the real reason why Cutie Pie left Dignitas. The beginning of the end for Dignitas. So moving on, we're going to go to our next one up here, number 5. This was submitted on Twitter by... Probably should have taken down that note. I know all of these, at least 2 people mentioned them, but what we've got for you is we've got a clip of Sneaky getting a pentakill on the last game of UOL against Unicorns of Love during IEM. So let's play that clip.
In a turret going down, Cloud9 now in full control of this match.
Now would be the time Unicorns of Love really wants to fight because they've just lost so much. They're trying to get something back.
Trying to get onto balls. There is the knockup from the ultimate of Hilisang. Vizichachi is in the middle as well, but the damage onto him is massive. Sneaky will get the first one. Kikis is low. He was hooked in there by Lemon Nation, and that means a 2 for 2 right now at least. But Sneaky, still alive, will blast down Power of Evil, and will probably get Hilisang as well. And that will be the pentakill that will surely win Cloud9, the Intel Extreme Masters here in San Jose.
Out of nowhere, it seems. I only saw he was at 2, and suddenly he's killed all 5. He sneaks up on you sometimes. 13-1 Sneaky, winning them the game.
And here we go, the final push through. No one will spawn in time, and it will be Cloud9 that are the champions of the Intel Extreme Masters, San Jose.
Yeah, what a finish.
People from last season. He's just one of those players that during week over week, he's a good player, and he's a good player, but he's so stealthy. He's so sneaky. There it is.
I mean, he lives up to his name. No, that's a hell of a way to win the biggest off-season tournament of the off-season. I don't know what I was going to follow that up with, but definitely the biggest off-season tournament in 2014.
But you can go whole weeks with Sneaky and not even hear his name. He just has really solid, but I guess on average mediocre performance. And out of an 80 carry, that it doesn't really seem right. But then you get these moments like this where he just explodes out of nowhere, and he completely carries the game for them.
I don't think that's it. I think it's more of that his team is so all-around solid that you don't necessarily see one playmaker come out of the woodwork more often than you see like a Burger King or Double Lift that has incredible plays. You can sometimes see where he gets a pentakill and you're like, oh, Limelight, that was all Sneaky. But I think it's more just the team is so good and so consistently not one person winning them the game, besides occasionally Medios with I don't know, number 3 coming up in a minute. But that's kind of what I attribute it to more than he's like, oh my gosh, explosion, Sneaky finally showed up. I always think he shows up. I don't usually think he has bad games ever.
I'm just going to be really sad when we start to see the downfall of Cloud9, because it obviously has to happen. They can't continue to be so dominant, and I think what's going to really mess them up is if they fail to see success in Worlds. Getting into Worlds like they have been and not making it very far is only going to be so good for so long. But they get paid tons of money. They have a solid team. We haven't seen them change anything in terms of roster in, ever. So it'll be really interesting to see how 2015 plays out for them.
Yeah. What if they all retire at the same time? They just like each other so much. Yeah, well, no, it's just they all like each other so much that they decide to leave from the pro scene and the public eye all at the same time. Public eye as though it's like a public esports eye.
Well, that's just it. We'd have no idea what goes on in the background. We really don't know
except
that
from
much
Playboy.
About how that's true. But we don't know how they interact with each other on a day-to-day basis. Who knows? There could be problems of brewing. That's just all sensationalism and hype. But we'll see how they do in 2015. Speaking of teams to see how they do in 2015, our next clip features TSM.
Can't flip my desk. I want to flip my desk, but I can't.
I think that was a really solid one, and I think you're gonna.
That was not at all. That was horrible. That was garbage.
It was pretty good. Anyway,
no,
Dignitas.
Guys, tweeted us about that one at LCS Rundown. Let us know how bad that was.
You know what? Here's your first voicemail challenge. You go and you leave a voicemail of your best bumpers, and if we like your bumper, I will contact you. We'll record you. We'll use that. You'll be our bumper recording. So go ahead and leave us a voicemail. Number's 978-378-0257. So go do that. Standard call rates may apply. boilerplate. So our next clip is Zion Spartan backdooring TSM. Let's just go straight to the clip.
TSM's inhibitor, and Zion is going there as soon as he spawns. He's going to take that inhibitor down again.
Let's see if Dignitas actually pushes out of the base, or they hold this and make it look interesting.
Does he go?
Because if they die, they're going to lose mid as well.
He's thinking about it.
Zion Spartan's holding. There's a minion wave that's going right past him. He may actually wait, because you can see the same wave in your base, but they have vision.
This is so tricky.
It's crazy.
TSM wants to break the wall right now. If they can get a kill or push in 5v4, they can theoretically end the game, which is stopping Zion from being able to teleport in right now. The fear of the 5v4, because finally, TSM has Dyrus with the team.
Dyrus gets hit up. This might be the time. Now he starts to teleport. He goes in. Dyrus is going to have to get out with the team. He leaves the slicing maelstrom on. Crumbs goes for the speed up on the ultimate. Dyrus really able to jump in. That's going to be a lockdown in the inhibitor. The Amazing gets hit. Kiwi Kid's a little too far here. He's going to have to try and get himself out. Living Artillery and the rest of the shots of fire.
Zion is just killing the Nexus.
Zion Spartan could easily, single-handedly win the game by himself. 54-54 on the clock. The Nexus turret. He has minions. It's going to be on to the next. Amazing, kind of amazing. He misses the shockwave, or the sonic wave, I should say, and he hits the Tempest. The cripple may slow the attack, but it's not on that anymore.
Oh my God.
He's going to be able to hit it. A few last hits.
He got it.
Oh my God, he wins the game.
Oh my God.
All by himself. The inhibitors and the Nexus turrets. Zion Spartan wins the game for Dignitas.
He had 172 health by the time he got that last hit on the Nexus. Amazing needed only to use his ultimate and he would have stopped the push. But he didn't do it in time because that last siphoning strike from Anasis with, I can't even check because I'm inspecting, 690 bonus damage on his siphoning strike. And by the way, a BF sword won the game single-handedly.
So this does so much for me. For one, I absolutely love base races. Like, those are probably my all-time favorite thing in League of Legends. So you get a base race component. You've got TSM, which I love TSM, obviously. Dignitas, the way they used to be. If you listen to that clip, you listen to how friggin' excited they are at the end. And they're screaming and they're getting giddy. They absolutely love it in that moment. And that's the Dignitas we'll never see again. And that makes me sad.
I love base races, but especially when they come down to one small misplay that can potentially win the game. Like in that one you had who went back there? Was that Amazing? Amazing was on Lee Sin, I think. And
Dyrus got back, but Dyrus died because he was a Maokai and he had next to no health. In the beginning, so TSM starts to back and Dignitas runs interruption. And they get a pretty good interruption, but Dyrus did have the teleport, so he was able to go down. But by the time he was there, he was just such low health that Zion was just able to pop him.
Yeah, but there was like they said at the end of the clip, 160 health or so, and an Amazing misses a Q on Lee Sin. Like if he hits that doesn't happen. That Zion does not win the game right there if that lands, because you think about that 160 health late game, it's easily taken down by a single resonating strike. So I love when it's that close. Like when it was the XPK backdoor, when he's dodging all those Olaf axes with his Kassadin, that's the same kind of thing. You have one more of those hit, completely different game. Maybe you don't know that it necessarily turns the game around completely, but it doesn't end it right there. That's for sure. So I love those, and I love that we have back-to-back backdoors. Backdoor to backdoor to backdoor.
Oh, yeah.
Only two of them,
yes,
but...
let's see. So let's go to the next clip. So the next clip we have is another backdoor. It's Meteos doing a fake out backdoor against, I believe it's Coast. So let's play that clip.
And Coast have to run away. Meteos will close the game out by himself. Oh, he's looking to. Balls is on the hunt. He's trying to keep vision. He's denying the backs. Who's going to get away from this one? Daydream's going to get a recall.
Before we go all the way through the clip, just listen to that crowd.
Balls looking shift or burst him out. So you're going to look for the damage, going to get rid of for Nectin, but in hit, Nexus turret number 1 is gone. Nexus turret number 2. Burst away. Meteos trying to close the game by himself, putting Cloud9 on his back. And the 4-4 Nexus.
So it's not super apparent from that clip because it gets really, really loud from the crowd. But what happens is basically Meteos is up top as Nocturne. Coast is
full
pushing,
AD Nocturne. Full
Yeah.
AD Nocturne, essentially.
Coast is bearing down on the C9 base, and Meteos just perfect map control, just goes into the fog of war. Just into the fog of war enough, just to make Coast think that he's backing. He waits a couple of seconds and just walks through the base. Completely backdoors them, cleans them out. I mean, Cloud9 probably would have won the fight, the ensuing fight that happened, to run interruption and make sure that they didn't get a chance to back. But, I mean, it's just... I don't know if you call that a pro play by Meteos, being able to fake out the back, or just a really bad play by Coast.
That plus you had a nice disruption run by Balls on Renekton, was able to come over and stop all the ports. You talk about stop the gates. But that's a lot of teamwork. You can't, like, if you're in solo queue, you can't just say, hey, you can't talk that fast. You can't tell everyone exactly what to do and say, I'm sitting right outside the fog of war and I know that, and go in immediately after they back and blah, blah, blah. Like, that's an incredible amount of team play. And that was just, it's not as exciting as the TSM one because you don't have multiple members of TSM bearing down on Zion and almost killing him. Instead, you've just got a full health Meteos just whacking away on turrets and onto the Nexus. But it's still really good play.
You say it's not that exciting, but listen to that crowd.
Well, it's exciting. No, it's exciting, but like it's not as
nuts.
It's not as it's not quite the same.
I want to go to the games because, I mean, even in the last clip too, people are freaking out. They are. It's just metal. It's nuts how crazy they are going down there. Oh, I want it. I want to be there. I want to be screaming, throwing my arms up in the air. I wish I had the clip of the Colby doing the Kazakhs. But we'll bring that one up too. That'll be a good bumper.
I don't. The number of sound bites you're gonna have like that, I'm scared of just hearing all in a row and just. Oh God, we have so many of these.
Well, speaking of sound bites, this should have been number one. This clip we're about to play. It's probably, this was my own submission. It's my single favorite moment of all of 2014 for the LCS. What it does is it really shows the professionalism of Skara as a coach, as a player. It gives you an insight into his knowledge, and it's showing why CLG is really going to be a dominant team in 2015. Let's play the clip.
Coast always has the potential to be the better team. It's just they always fall flat. And so it sucks because you watch them and you're like, wow, this game is going great. I love this game. This game is awesome. And then it's like, Coast, what are you doing? And then Ace, and then Baron. And then you're like, crap. Like, that did not work out. But up until they lose the game, they're winning. So that's such a terrible line to say, but
the Zen knowledge of Skara. Up until they lose, they're winning.
He will bring so much balance to the CLG.
Yeah,
much balance.
He's just gonna drop those lines on double lift all the time.
And
double
calm them
lift.
down.
If you're not carrying the game, you're losing. Zen Master Skara.
I don't know if you guys know, but Double Lift is a longtime listener of the LCS Rundown.
Yes, he is. I'd imagine, like most professional players are. We do know that Skara's on.
Yeah, every single professional player. It's part of their initiation packet to getting into the LCS is they have to listen to the rundown of the LCS, and that's where they come.
It's spying almost on the other teams. They got to get the hot takes from Optimus Tom. They just
hashtag hot takes.
He pour his knowledge into their cup, and their cup overfloweth with knowledge, and that's how Cloud9 wins. That's really their secret, is this show. So we're gonna wrap up the fan favorite moments of 2014 with arguably what is probably better than that last one. It is
this is my favorite one.
Number one clip. This is from IEM. And actually, Mitch, why don't you take us into this clip?
Well, it's probably the most hyped and most lucrative in terms of dollar bills. And I say dollar because it involves a lot of gangster, because this is Hotshot versus St. Vicious and their teams in the ARAM at IM San Jose. And so this is, of course, when no caster of the right mind isn't going to cast this game. And so that should probably be about as much as you need to know coming into the clip if you haven't seen it.
All right, let's play the clip.
If I can say the idea, or I can let Monty
go for it.
Well, we could try and cast it like the Korean casters, because a lot of people are always wondering why we don't just shout out ability names all the time.
Nice. I can shout nice to a lot if you like.
That's right. We
So
next time
get
there's
the
a
harmonies
fight,
in there.
I think we should try. All right, it's on.
All right, we're going to build up. I'm going bass tone.
pressure.
Tony and D-Man will be high tone, bass tone. We'll hit this. We'll get it.
Man, that's really easy. I see how they get away with it. Yeah, I think we should do that.
There's nothing better than that to me, because when you watch the Korean cast, that's what it's like.
It's exactly what it's like.
Perfectly.
Well, I like the
Go ahead.
Crap. I like that Joe Miller towards the end just kind of gives up. He realizes the absurdity of it. He's still got 5 more people trying to shout over him, and just says, "All right, yeah, you know what? This is exactly what it must be like to deal with this much loudness." And I wish that I spoke Korean or understood Korean well enough to listen to that and understand if it's even helpful. I have no idea. I have no idea if they just yell ability names and then you are supposed to understand it from just that of what's happening. But
I think it's that urge just to describe exactly what you're saying, and that's just what ends up happening. But what I love, you have to watch that video clip. It's more than just listening to it, because they are all they take both sets of casters, because there's 6 total in that on that match, and they're just freaking out. They're just all waving their hands in the air and going absolutely nuts. Which, God, why didn't I get that as a job? Let's quit this whole podcast gang and go be casters. Well,
I mean,
like
it's not as lucrative. Not as lucrative. I will say I have
podcasting. Are you getting paid?
That's the joke. .jpg.
Yeah.
I did a triple cast one time when I was still shoutcasting. I might get back into it, but when I was shoutcasting, we would do a triple cast occasionally just to kind of have more fun. And when it's with good people and people you've been around, it's hilarious because you don't actually fight as much as you'd think. Obviously, this isn't 6 people. We didn't do 6, but just even adding 1 more than normal kind of added to the hilarity of it and made it a lot more fun. So I kind of see a little bit of that I see a little bit of the triple cast in what they did, except with just a lot less shouting.
Yeah, I'd love to get into casting sometime. I feel like my voice is too monotone, though. I can't get excited.
You could be an analyst then. Analysts can sound not excited.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. All right, so that's our clips.
Yeah, that's all of our clips. We had some other really great moments from the fan votes. Lots of pentakills from different teams. Some of Imps, some of Bjergsen's. One that got brought up in Twitch and got mentioned a couple of times was Teemo getting picked by Cloud9 in Week 1, Game 1, which I was thinking to myself, because I got called out on Twitter. They mentioned that, and somebody mentioned Teemo getting picked. And I was like, yeah, I wish just once Teemo would get picked in the LCS. And then they came back and they're like, yeah, Week 1 it happened, Cloud9 versus TSM.
Yeah, it was
and
great.
Cloud9 actually won.
In mid, it was great.
Right, they won with Teemo, and what I didn't realize is that this show wasn't around then.
Yeah,
we started up like midway through the season or something like that.
That's when I joined.
Year,
yeah,
so we didn't even get to carry. So But that was great. So we are rounding towards the end of the episode. We have some more favorite moments stuff, but I think we're going to leave that for Twitter and for the actual team discussions going forward, since it is just the two of us. So that's going to do it for this week's episode of the TForce LCS Rundown. Thanks for joining us. You can see us next week. We're going to be talking about the European scene for 2015 and getting you hyped for that. And then the following week we have NA. And then the next week after that, we're back to the regular LCS. And there's just going to be heaps and heaps and heaps of stuff to talk about as we see finalized rosters come out. We start to see these teams performing. It is just going to be absolutely, absolutely nuts. So that's it. That's it for the show.
I'm waving. It's not really important, but I'm waving at the camera for you guys.
Yeah. All right, and we'll see you next week.